Welcome back, guys. Adesanya versus Pfeiffer has just wrapped up, and once again, dude, I just fucked the dog on predictions here. It is what it is, bro. This MMA channel at this point is just for memes. Honestly, I thought this. I mean, we'll go over the full card, and I'll go through my kind of reactions and thoughts to all the fights. There's a crazy card, honestly. Like, I didn't think it was the best card when I first was looking at it, but the fights performed. There were some insane finishes. I thought Maycee Barber was dead. But honestly, dude, I thought Adesanya had this fight, and I genuinely thought, like, after the first and second round, I was like, okay, he's got it. Or first round. It's like, he's got it, but he just, we'll get into it later, but he just got a little bit too reckless, in my opinion, and it was a fight that he was winning. It was a fight that he should have won, and I thought he was well on his way to winning. So, yeah, anyways, we'll start at the bottom of the card. We'll go all the way up. Honestly, most of these fights performed very well. I did okay at predictions, but there were some of them I just got so wrong. So, yeah, let's dive into it. Alexa Thainara versus Bruno Brazil. I got this one right. Alexa Thainara is just better than Bruno Brazil. She's more active. Bruno Brazil doesn't seem like she wants to be there sometimes. Like, she's not, sometimes she's losing a fight and she's not doing things that would help her win the fight, if that makes sense. Like, it's not even necessarily like it's like making the right choices, because sometimes she's not making the right choices to, get to a spot where she'll be winning the fight. But she's also just doesn't have the urgency or like it doesn't seem like she has the fire to want to win some of the fights. Like, she was clearly down 2-3 and she came out and did the same things and didn't really try to change it up too much. So, yeah, anyways, Alexa Thainara looked way better than her. She was actually piecing her up on the feet a little bit, which I didn't see happening. Way higher output, did fine in the grappling. Easy win for Alexa Thainara. She almost got her out of there as well. And she did almost get spinning back kick KO'd at the very last minutes of the third round. But that's because she was already up in the scorecards and she was pushing for a finish. So good on her. The Ricky Simone versus Adrian Yanez fight was insane. This should have been on the main card, in my opinion. Really good fight. Two high-level guys. I picked Ricky Simone to win this fight. And I don't know if he won this fight, brother. I don't know. A lot of people are calling this a robbery. I think the very first round, we can go look at the strikes, but the very first round was close. Yanez was up a little bit, but Ricky Simone was landing some good, powerful shots in the very first round of this fight. So I could see how you could give him the first round. He was landing the heavier shots for sure. Second round was Ricky Simone's, and then third round was clearly Adrian Yanez 10-8 for sure. For sure 10-8. Fight could have been stopped. I'm glad it wasn't, because it was one of those fights that you just stopped with 1 second left, and I don't know. Ricky Simone took so much damage and showed so much heart to not let him last that 1 extra second. He was taking more damage, but it wasn't it to his detriment. But yeah, wild fight. I'm okay with the draw on this one, honestly, mainly because I picked Ricky Simone and I kind of wanted him to win. But I could see how it was a draw. The first round was very, very close. And we all know how the rest of the fight went. So, yeah, anyways, very, very close, interesting fight. I think it was Ricky Simone's fight to win or to lose. I think he should have had a little bit better output in the first round, low kick wise and stuff like that, to just make it a little bit more clear of a first round finish, and then we could all be okay, it was a draw. But he didn't throw. He had a hard time getting range on Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez looked really good. Ricky Simone is one of the better guys at bantamweight. Is he in the rankings? No, that's outside of the rankings. I think he's by far one of the better guys. So for Yanez to have a performance like that after a long layoff against Ricky Simone is really quite good. And Ricky Simone did a good job of mixing in the grappling in the second round. He had a big advantage in the grappling when he was able to get it there. Caused some damage. But third round, man, Yanez put it on him. So, yeah, crazy fight. This was a great fight. This is one of the fight. You can't call it fight of the night because there were so many other insane fights, but this was one of the fight of the nights. I'm excited. I'm interested to see who gets fight of the night and stuff on here, because I haven't looked yet. Navo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. This one kind of went exactly the way we thought it was. Navo Sterling gets a finish. He's just a way better striker than Bruno Lopez, and it was pretty easy victory for him in this fight. But dude, Keith Peterson, he looks so small. I know these guys are huge, but he looks so small. He looks like 5'2" out there with these guys. But bro seriously wanted to see a body. Yeah, I mean, we saw Maycee Barber get murdered, so we saw a body, but this was bad, dude. Navo Sterling honestly didn't even throw us he didn't push a finish that hard because I think he felt bad for like continuing to hit him still. Like the ref just wasn't stopping this fight, and like he could have gone ballistic and just unloaded, but he kind of just was like throw a couple shots, kind of like control position, try to find maybe a submission, throw a couple shots. Okay, like the ref is seriously not finishing this fight. What the fuck? Okay, I'll throw a couple more shots. Okay, ref still isn't finishing this fight or calling it off. All right, I'm gonna like finally throw like 3 or 4 like really hard shots in a row until he stops. But yeah, Bruno Lopez did a good job of trying to mix in some grappling, mix in some offense. He was seriously kind of outgunned and out-techniqued in the striking, so he did what he had to do by making it a little bit more of a dirty fight, trying to close the distance, trying to mix in some cage work, trying to throw some knees and stuff. But Navo Sterling is just a better striker, and he wasn't able to get to the ground or do anything with the grappling. So I don't know. It was kind of, we all kind of saw this one going that way. I would say I'm 3 for 3 for now because I'm counting the Ricky Simone one as a win. But yeah, good finish from Sterling. Keith Peterson took forever, and then we got Dominic Cruz in the back yelling like, "Oh, I wish Keith Peterson gave me that chance." And bro, like this guy's taking like 30 extra follow-up shots. It's all good, man. Like he wasn't coming back from that. And Nabo Sterling was being kind of nice about it too, to be honest. Up next, we got Casey O'Neill versus Gabriel Fernandez. I honestly don't remember who I picked for this one, but great finish from Casey O'Neill. She looked really good. I mean, she went out there and like KO'd like in a fashion that we don't normally see in women's MMA. KO'd Gabriel Fernandez up against the cage with a beautiful shot. So really good win from Casey O'Neill. I did not have that in my predictions, her finishing her like that. I think I did pick Casey O'Neill, but I'm not sure. Anyways, great win from Casey O'Neill. She came off a long layoff and I think like injuries as well, so that's good. I picked Tyrell Fortune in this one, so I think we got everyone right so far. I think Marcin Tybura is awful, man, and he's super out of shape. This was crazy as well. There's a lot of controversy in this card, actually, because like there's a lot of weird things that happened. Like the Navo Sterling finish was insane. The Ricky Simone decision was interesting. Casey O'Neill's finish was crazy. What's her name at the beginning? Alexa Tainaram was getting KO'd at the end with the spinning back kick to the neck. Roundtree literally winning Tyrell Fortune Roundtree Khalil. I almost called this oversized Khalil Roundtree. Dude, Tyrell Fortune, like, I thought won the fight pretty clearly. And then they call it for Marcin Tybura. He walks out of the cage, not even like a couple seconds, like, oh, we got the scorecards wrong, like 4 minutes. And then they bring him back in and be like, yo, Marcin, you actually lost, bro. Pretty crazy. You can see Marcin Tybura had the total strike advantage, but Tyrell Fortune did a good job of mixing in some takedowns. He landed some better shots. I thought he won round 1 and 2. It was close, but I thought he won. I think Marcin Tybura is really bad, bro. And Tyrell Fortune on short notice showed a pretty good performance against, I think Marcin Tybura is ranked, but anyway, somebody that's been around, a veteran in the heavyweight division for a long time. I think Tyrell Fortune's pretty good, man, for heavyweight. Is he going to be the heavyweight champ? No, hell no, but is he going to be one of the guys in the top 10 for sure? Lance Gibson Jr. got this one right too. I might have got I got everyone right so far, except for the Ignacio Bahamondes one I did not get right. That was fight of the night for sure. Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr. Great fight. For how long it lasted. Chase Hooper's striking is not good enough to stand with people like Lance Gibson and other guys like that. Lance Gibson is powerful. He's got good, clean technique. He's going to be able to avoid the takedowns for the most part. And Chase Hooper's striking is just, he's plotty, he's upright, and he throws kind of like everything he throws, there's no respect to it. Like you're not going to gain any respect from anything Chase Hooper throws. Like if he's kicking you, it's like a little fleeky, slappy kick. That's not really going to do anything. If he's punching you, it's kind of just like upright, like soft, like he's not sitting on anything. So there's not really anything to be concerned about in striking. It's a little bit hard to cross the distance on Chase Hooper because he's a little bit long, but also, again, you don't really have anything to worry about when you are closing the distance or crossing the void, as DJ would say, because there's nothing there that's going to hurt you. Like when we go up and look at the UC Balghouri fight where he's like, he's got this huge range advantage against Mansour Abdul-Malik. He's throwing stuff that are keeping you at range, that are going to hurt you, stop you, and he's staying out of range. I know completely different fighters. Chase Hooper's a grappler, but Chase Hooper has nothing at range that's going to stop you from closing the distance or stop you from trying to land big shots on him. There's nothing. And his takedowns aren't good enough to just close that distance and get you down right away. So tough fight for Chase Hooper. He didn't look too bad at the beginning. He was trying to close the distance. He was trying to get a hold of Lance Gibson Jr., get him down. But yeah, his striking isn't quite good enough. And people are just going to hit him with bombs like Lance Gibson did and put him out. And Lance Gibson put him the fuck down. People might have been saying like a little bit of early stoppage, but Chase Hooper didn't complain about it at all, and he got sat down. Like he got that elbow. Was it an elbow? I think it was an elbow, right? That he framed and just elbowed straight across. That dropped him was nasty, and then he ate. I think the kick actually landed in the stomach, but as he was getting back up, Lance Gibson Jr. hit like a beautiful like body kick, doubled it up, like perfect Thai pad style where he just and then followed up and TKO'd him. I thought it was a good finish. Chase Hooper didn't protest, and I don't know. Chase Hooper's good, but he's not that good. He's not like top 15, I think, in the division, and mainly because he's missing a little bit of athleticism, and he needs to work on being more fluid and athletic and mixing everything together when he is striking into his grappling and getting better grappling takedowns. If you're going to be like that high level grappler and your striking is going to be that bad, you better make sure that like you're going to be able to get takedowns really, really well. Because he's a grappler, but he's a jiu-jitsu guy, so he doesn't have like the wrestling background to get people to the ground very well. So he either needs to figure out how to get them to the ground with like tie clinch and sweeping and stuff like that, or better wrestling, or really improve his striking so that his striking is good enough that he can sit on the feet with most people. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Tufik Musaev. This was a crazy fight. Striking-wise, this is two really, really high-level strikers. Tufik Musaev looked good on the feet against Bahamondes. Bahamondes he's a really good striker, and he had the range advantage against Tufik. And in the first round, you could kind of see how hard it was for Tufik to kind of like land big shots on Bahamondes because of the range disadvantage he was at. And Tufik is not even like a small guy in height against Bahamondes. He's decently tall. But in the first round, he was, I would say, average. But in the first round, he was doing a really good job of like, whenever Bahamondes would close distance or throw kicks, he would catch them. And he would really try to throw back with shots that, get respect. Like he was throwing hard shots and his striking was looking clean. Bahamondes definitely a little bit ahead in the striking. I think technique for technique, they're pretty equal, but Bahamondes has that reach advantage and was giving Tufik a little bit of issues in the striking, but he still did quite good. I mean, if we look at the striking numbers in the first round, they're pretty much even. I don't know, it was good. But I think it was the end of the first round, he got a takedown, Tufik Musaev, and he kind of realized like, okay, I can take Bahamondes down. And from there on out, second round, he took him down and just ground and pounded him. And third round was insane. But was it the second round that Bahamondes? I think the second round Bahamondes was looking really good on the feet. I think Bahamondes won the first round. He's just a little bit better in the striking. And then second round Bahamondes was winning like by quite a bit in the striking, just piecing Tufik up at range, him having a hard time closing the distance. And then he grabbed the cage. He kind of cheated, grabbed the cage to stay up and then reverse position on Ignacio Bahamondes, cut him open, headbutted him, I think, probably but not by accident. Headbutts him. Ignacio Bahamondes from the middle of the second round out when they go to the ground is just bleeding everywhere. Like one of those fights where like you don't see that much blood very often. It's like once a year where you see somebody bleeding that aggressively. And from the second to third round, Ignacio Bahamondes is just bleeding out like nonstop. And Tufik Musaev, credit to him, nasty ground and pound. Like the dude had good grappling, good control, and just nasty ground and pound. Like he was not just holding Ignacio Bahamondes there. He was looking for damaging shots. He was throwing big elbows. He was really hurting Ignacio. And Bahamondes, his grappling is not great. Like he's not trying to get up to his. The only place he was winning this fight was on the feet, and he had no desire to get back to his feet. He was just trying to submit Tufik Musaev off his back, and it's really hard to do that in MMA. When you're getting punched in the face, you're getting elbowed in the face. He's rolling for legs, and Tufik's just bashing him. He's bleeding everywhere. He's rolling for legs. He's trying to get arm bars and stuff, but he's like covered in blood and slippery. Like, you have to be a really, really good, like, Charles Oliveira level grappler, like, maybe not quite that high, but like very, very high level grappler, where that's like your main thing, like Che Super-esque, to be trying to get submissions off your back in MMA without taking a shit ton of damage. And Ignacio Bahamondes' grappling is like off his back is pretty good, but it's not like that good. And he's just getting beat up. And I remember this happening in a couple of his other fights as well. So he just needs to get back up to his feet instead of closing guard and try to go for submissions. Ultimately, I feel like that's what lost him the fight, because I feel like second, third round, when he was getting taken down and beat up in those positions, there was points where he probably could have got back up to his feet. And if he did, he maybe would have got a finish on Tafik Musaev, or he may have just won the round on points. But yeah, he got the shit beat out of him in the second, third round, and he was bleeding everywhere. It was a really good fight, though. It was a crazy fight. This was a war. And dude, Ignacio Bahamondes is one tough dude, man. He stayed in this third round. I thought like maybe they would call it off, but nope. Patched him back up, and he's in there. So this was fight of the night. Yeah, I mean, it deserved to be fight of the night. Terrence McKinney. I went with Kyle Nelson because he's Canadian, but Terrence McKinney just swamped him in the first round. Kind of like, and I've also trained with Kyle Nelson, so I'm like, man, I gotta go with Kyle Nelson. But yeah, it was one of those ones. It was like Terrence McKinney. He's either going to just overwhelm Kyle Nelson and beat him up in the first round, or it's going to go in the later rounds, and Kyle Nelson will have the advantage after that, after the early parts of the first round. Terrence McKinney just comes out and just goes after you. But honestly, I don't think this was a very solid finish. I think it's almost like Kyle Nelson just gave up. Like, he got hit with one shot that kind of rocked him a little bit, and then Terrence McKinney ended up on top, and then he's blocking just fine. Like, Kyle Nelson is just blocking just fine, but he had no urgency to get back up to his feet. And Terrence McKinney was just throwing a bunch of shots. And because Kyle Nelson wasn't moving, even though he seemed fine, like he didn't seem damaged or rocked or anything like that after the fight, but because he wasn't moving at all, the ref had to stop the fight. So there was no urgency from Kyle Nelson at the end of, when he was on the ground to like show that he was still in the fight. And ultimately, that's what lost him the fight. Do I think it would have gone differently after that? Probably not. I mean, Terrence McKinney was on top, trying to throw big shots, so he probably would have ended up getting a finish anyways, but it's kind of a weird finish, weird one. Terrence McKinney gets it done in 24 minutes. Insane. I got this one wrong as well. I thought Mansour Abdul-Malik would be able to close the distance against Isreal Balghouri and maybe get him down to the ground, but I did think that Balghouri would piece him up on the feet. So yeah, it was a tough fight for Mansour Abdul-Malik. He is a pretty good striker. He's definitely more of a grappler. He was not able to get Balghouri down, and he was not able to close the distance very well against Balghouri. Yusri Balghouri looked really, really good in this fight. Like, he looked like one of the guys that's going to be a problem for most people in this division. Striking is really good. He's got one of the best, he's got some of the best striking in the division for sure. And his takedown defense seemed really quite good, like in this fight. So it'll be interesting to see how he does higher up in the division. Mansour Abdul-Malik, like, really, he was trying to kickbox that range a little bit with Balghouri at the beginning, and he probably should have done more like what Terrence McKinney did, where he just swarmed him at the beginning and just put an insane pressure on him and tried to overwhelm him that way. But he didn't, and then he kind of let Yusri Balghouri get into like the fight a little bit too much, and Balghouri landed a bunch of nice low kicks at the very beginning of the fight as well that definitely hurt and slowed Mansour Abdul-Malik down. And I think Mansour kind of let Balghouri do enough in the first round where it made Mansour a little bit hesitant or cautious because he was getting a little bit outstruck or like, decently outstruck, but he's getting outstruck. So it made him a little bit cautious. And then the second, third round, he was a little bit more scared and more concerned to close the void. And he did, and close the distance, but he did in the third round. He tried to. His coaches were like, you need to go out in your shield. You die an honorable death, brother, which is kind of hilarious to say, but exactly what he needed to do. He was down 2 rounds, and if he was going to win this fight, it wasn't by trying to out-technique Balghouri. It was by just throwing big shots and trying to get to the ground and closing the distance. And he got finished. Did he get finished? Yeah, he got finished in the third round. He got finished in the third round trying to do that. But yeah, it was a tough fight for Abdul-Malik. But Yusri Balghouri looked really, really good, man. Looked really good. Dude, this guy might be my new favorite fighter. Larion Douglas, brother. I picked him to win. I think this was kind of obvious. Julian Rosa is not that great. Definitely not in the striking. And Larry Douglas, dude, he's a motherfucker. that dude is so jacked and so strong, and his striking is insane, man. His striking is really good. He throws all of his combos and all of his techniques are proper technique, but and tight. Like he's throwing tight, but he is throwing with so much power. Everything he's throwing is just so fucking hard, bro. Like this was another one of those crazy fights. So let's go back. Terrence McKinney was crazy. This fight was crazy. Chase Hooper fight was finish. The only fight that wasn't like a weird. I mean, this was weird too. There was something interesting or weird on every fight because this was a weird decision. The fight itself was kind of boring, but this was a weird decision. Yeah, Balghouri KOing Mansour Abdul-Malik was an interesting fight. Something happened. It was a good fight. Dude, this was crazy because, like, how often do you see somebody get dropped by jabs this much in a fight at this weight class? Never. Like, dude, Larry Douglas's jabs, bop, it was so hard, dude. And, like, man, if you would not, you do not want to take a jab like that. And, like, for sure you already had Julian Rosa hurt, but, like, when he jabbed him and sat him down like 3 or 4 times in a row, insane. I don't think I've ever seen that like in MMA. I don't think I've ever seen that at any weight class in MMA. He literally, the first jab he landed, literally blasted Julian Rosa like 3 feet back into the cage. It was pretty crazy. But, dude, yeah, Larry Douglas looked really, really good in this fight. His striking looked on point. He had really good pressure, good cutting off the cage. And when he was throwing shots, like his technique, combo, slipping, and everything like that was good. But more so, like that was good. But he was throwing all these shots with such bad intention that, dude, no one's getting like no one. It's like it's kind of fights like Ilya with like a slightly different boxing style, but he's throwing like to put you out. And he has good pressure. He's good at cutting off the cage, and the rest of his striking is good as well. But he is throwing to put you out, and he's gonna find that shot. I think he's gonna find the shot against almost everybody, dude. Like, it's pretty crazy, and he has the power, like we saw, even with the jab, that he can hurt you. And then when he does have you hurt, he's like very calculated, but he's also like doing the right things to finish somebody. So yeah, great win by Larry Douglas. The follow up shots after he had Julian Rosa hurt were nasty. This fight was fucking stupid, but I guess also an interesting fight because it was Chiesa's last fight and it was a immediate finish. It's just this stupid ass fight because Nico Price is like by far the worst guy in the UFC. Nico Price is so bad. Like he's genuinely awful. And this was the easiest win of Michael Chiesa's career. I think everybody saw this coming. Nico Price has 0 striking, 0 grappling. He literally has nothing going. But Michael Chiesa looked good, man. Like for a guy who's retiring, he looked in good shape. His technique looked good. His grappling looked good. I still think he beats a lot of the guys in the lower end of this division and outside the top 15, but definitely not like going on a title run or anything like that. But good on Michael Chiesa. Good way to finish. Good way to retire. Literally the biggest, easiest fucking layup for a retirement fight finish that you could ever have. It was like the submission was like the easiest submission you could ever get, minus Alex Grasso's submission. Dude, this was gnarly because I legitimately thought Maycee Barber was fucking deceased, bro. I've never seen, I feel like I don't think I've ever seen that scary of a KO. And I think the reason it was such a bad KO is because she got KO'd and choked immediately after. Like she got KO'd, you're out cold, your brain's like completely shut off, and then somebody cuts off the oxygen to your brain as well immediately after. Like that's really gnarly. And that's not something we see often. Like you could see after Maycee Barber was like, she got hit with the KO shot. Her tongue is like this, like sticking half out her mouth because she's KO'd. Well, fucking Alexa Grasso is choking her out as well. Insane performance by Alexa Grasso. The way she dropped / KO'd Maycee Barber and immediately jumped that submission, that was some of the slickest transitions, slickest fighting / grappling, mixing it together. Just so present, so aware, so in the moment to be able to do something that quick, that fast, that well of technique. The choke, there was no adjustments. That choke was so deep, literally immediately, within the half a second of her flatlining Maycee Barber. That was really impressive, and makes you think that she shows up to fight like that, she can beat all the girls in this division. I know the Valentina Shevchenko is like kind of a different story against Alex Grasso, but man, Alex Grasso looked really, really good tonight. Her striking looked really good, really clean. Maycee Barber does what Maycee Barber does. She kind of like bullies you. I picked Maycee Barber to win this because I didn't think Alexa Grasso could KO her, and I didn't think she'd be able to finish her on the grappling, and she did fucking both of them, bro. Refund. But honestly, Maycee Barber was kind of doing what Maycee Barber always does. She was kind of pressuring Alexa Grasso, trying to make it a dirty fight. Maycee Barber's striking looked a lot better than normal. But she's rolling with the shots like this with her one hand up and her other shoulder. Well, she's kind of posting like this, but her chin's like here, and she's just rolling with shots and catching some of them. But you can see that she's kind of open, like kind of open across the chin here, because she literally is just, it's not blocking like this. She's not like fighting like this. She's just one hand up, and her lead hand, she's just rolling with shots. And that's exactly what Alexa Grasso used to catch her and fucking flatten her. She stepped in with a shot. Alexa Grasso just right over the top of this hand. She tries to roll one, and then another one, boom. And just straight out cold. Beautiful shot by Alexa Grasso. Maycee Barber was pressuring and doing what she does, but it was just a little tiny bit too open with the striking. And not a tiny bit, quite a bit. And I didn't think Alexa Grasso would have that power to just step in when Maycee Barber came in. She just stepped in at the same time and dropped her. And dude, the way she dropped her and hopped on that finish was insane. This was a crazy KO. This is one of the craziest KO finishes of the night, or of the year. And then Maycee Barber was literally just deceased on the ground like this for like 5 minutes. And I don't know anything. I'm not a medical professional, but it seemed kind of weird that they were just like, the doctors were just letting her lie there, and they were just looking like, shit. It's like when you poke like a dead thing with a stick, like, is it dead or is it alive? It was kind of weird, but I think a lot of people were a little scared of like how that finish was. But she got up. Dude, it's crazy that you can get finished like that, be out that cold for that long, and then the UFC make you stand up and get the other person's hand raised. Like, bro, get that girl out of there. Like, she just got KO'd. Like, she should not be on the mic talking to anybody. She should not be, like, getting her, like, standing there with the ref, like, for the final decision. Like, get her out of there, bro. She's got fucked up. This fight was sad to see, bro. I think all of us were crying a little bit inside. I thought Isreal Adesanya looked great in the fight. I thought he was winning the fight. I thought he was winning the fight in the first round and second round as well. But he just got a little bit, like, you could tell, like, he wanted to make a statement. You could tell he was like, I'm going to fuck this guy up. I'm back. And you could tell he's getting a little bit more confident in the second round. And he was just getting too confident that he could slip the shots and roll with them. And you could see that Pfeiffer was getting a little bit close with some of those shots. And it was a little concerning because Isreal wasn't fighting the most clean fight. In the second round, he was fighting a fight that, like, to be entertaining and to get a finish, which is fine, but that's where he could get caught. And he kind of got caught, and then he kind of just got taken down. And when Joe Pyfer got the takedown, right into the full mount, we kind of all knew, like, it was over from there. Like, Joe Pyfer in full mount and Isreal Adesanya's grappling, not the best. But anyways, yeah. Complete fucking bummer to see. I thought Adesanya looked good. I thought Adesanya could have got a finish in this fight if he just fought a little bit cleaner, a little bit smarter, and didn't try to make it like a statement performance. You could tell he wanted to make it a statement performance, but I think if he just made it a cleaner fight and got a dub, he would have, or like cleaner fight to get a dub, he probably would have. But yeah, crazy. Joe Pyfer wins. Kind of a shitty fight for all of us. I think we all wanted to see Izzy win. Crazy that Joe Pyfer was talking about wanting to commit suicide like a week before. You never really know what's going on in some of these guys' minds coming into fights or just in general in life. So yeah. Anyways, crazy card. There was a lot of ups and downs in this card. It was a good card for the fights that were on. I thought it was great. People that let's dive back through it. People that I'm really stoked on. Larian Douglas, dude, he looked awesome. UC Balghouri looked really, really good. Tafik Musaev was actually an interesting fight, and he looked pretty good. Do I think he does it great against the rest of the people? No. But prospects, people I'm looking forward to, Larian Douglas for sure. I think he looked really, really good. Outside of that, don't really care. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this recap. we'll see you next week for the next UFC event. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the MMA channel. I'll keep the videos coming weekly.